Imagine that you are a married person where you and your wife have decided to have a natural baby named Sarah. All families around you are having genetically modified kids. After a few years, your girl Sarah is having a friend named Nancy. She is a genetically modified kid and she is beautiful, healthy, and so smart, even smarter than you. However, you have that gut feeling where there is something wrong with these genetically modified kids. The only proven fact about these kids is that they are more aggressive than natural kids. Your daughter is now suffering as she is different from most of her friends, especially from her best friend, the smart and beautiful Nancy. Moreover, your girl Sarah is wondering if she and Nancy would be friends anymore. After a while, you and your wife are going to have another baby. Your wife wants that baby to be genetically modified so as not to suffer like his younger sister. Fortunately, you can afford the high cost of this process. What's your choice by then? Arguments against gene modification. Laws of the UK and some other countries currently ban the creation of genetically altered babies, in principle to prevent children from inheriting serious diseases caused by faulty genes. Researchers found that the most popular tool for genome modification, which is now known as CRISPR-Cas9, caused more damage to DNA than previously thought. And this means that gene modification could disrupt healthy genes when it's meant to fix faulty ones. Jackie Leach, professor of social ethics and bioethics at Newcastle University, said that gene modification could one day become an option for parents to try and secure what they think is the best start in life for their future children. But there could be unintended consequences if the law was changed to allow gene modification of human embryos. While the technology could reduce the number of people affected by genetic diseases, it could also leave those with diseases feeling more marginalized and with less medical support. As with many new technologies, there is a concern that genome modification will only be accessible to the wealthy and will increase existing disparities in access to health care and other interventions. Some worry that taken extreme, germline modification could create classes of individuals defined by the quality of their engineered genome. Many people have moral and religious objections to the use of human embryos for research. For instance, federal funds cannot be used for any research that creates or destroys embryos. Arguments with gene modification. It is morally possible if it was in the future child's interest and did not add to the kinds of inequalities that already divide society. Karen Young, the chair of NAFLD Working Group and professor of law, ethics and informatics at the University of Birmingham, said that it is not normally acceptable in itself, and there is no reason to rule it out. In the light of duty theory, this act attaches an obligation to the parents to make their children contented with the condition thus acquired. Kant's ethics in this case are sharp and deal with the rational beings who are responsible and have a moral concern, like parents, doctors, legislators. That would allow for the medical intervention to procreation and preventive solutions to stop an embryo from developing heavy disabilities. The limit is thus set on anything that includes a choice based on inclinations and that disapproves of anything involving consumption in regard to genes and designing babies at a pre-birth stage. Gene therapy is neither a moral nor immoral practice in any objective, but it will view persons merely as products, which is completely rejected by Kantian reasons. In the light of relativism theory, some countries have an outright legal ban on genetic modification, like USA, Australia, and Brazil. On the other hand, in China, India, Japan, and Ireland, bans existed, but did not necessarily have legal enforcement mechanisms behind them. In the light of divine commands theory, Hillel Steiner claimed that genetic engineering could lead us to regard genes as artifacts rather than natural objects. It is definitely wrong to play God in this way. In the light of intuitionism theory, we cannot really presume that these future edited persons will not have their emotive well-being affected once they find out that they were edited. We cannot guarantee that society will be fairer if we allow for more than therapeutic germline editing, leading to edited and unedited persons. Why we adopted this opinion? We believe that the best way to solve this dilemma is by banning the process of genome modification. However, if this process is assured to be safe, it should be legalized only to some specific cases, like embryos suspected with chronic diseases or congenital flaws. In that way, all children will have an equal chance to live a normal and healthy life, with no suffering or differences because of their parents' social or economic level. We have used stage 5, prior rights and social contract.